Wife cheated. A lot, even with family. It changed me. For real. Backstory: my wife, 27 female, and I, 28 male, have been together since high school. She had a history of being hoey before we met. I took my chances and fell head over heels for her. I dropped everyone and everything for her. Looking back, it was 100% toxic. She got pregnant with our daughter, who was my world. Welcoming my beautiful human into this world gave me life. At age 20, I found out when my daughter was a year old that my wife cheated on me 9 months before she was pregnant with my twin brother. I remember nutting in her and saying, "I hope you got pregnant off of that one 9 months before she was born too." It's a mystery that I am fine not finding out if I am the father, not even sure if it is possible, being as we are twins. The wife and I never have talked about it. His wife and I worked together and we left early one day. I acted like him to sign their marriage venue because we are identical and he couldn't leave work. His wife came on to me that day and I told him. He took my phone and said, "I want to see if my wife would do that to me." I think he felt guilty and that's what sparked him to tell me about him and my wife. I was in shock and heartbroken. I told my wife to go to her parents. She did. I knew I needed to teach her a lesson, even though I wanted to put it behind me and act like it never happened. I heard rumors while living at her mom's she started messing around with a dude at work. I woke up throwing up on myself. I drove up there to beat his and her car was outside but she wasn't there. She threw her time cards on the floorboard of her car and when she picked up our daughter I would sneak them so I could build a case against her because I felt like she was acting like she was at work and never with our daughter. I wanted her to stop talking to that guy so bad that I told her I would forget about everything else. Her dad told me to be her Prince Charming and stay persistent or my daughter will be calling someone else dad. She is just trying to find herself. This is what happens when you are young and want to play house, etc. I cried and cried to make it stop. It didn't. It stopped when I stopped. I stopped trying to make it work and she freaked out. We ended up moving to Utah to start fresh. I took a promotion for work and we moved to Utah. I was optimistic and she became miserable. I would come home on my lunch every day and cater to my family to build excitement about the new life. She stayed miserable and said she wanted to move back home. She moved home a few weeks earlier than I did. She stayed with my family. While I finished out work in Utah and packed our house. My mom went to my aunt's house where my wife was for the day and she had a glass door with shapes that you could barely see through. Through a little piece of glass seen my younger brother and wife laying on the couch. When she rang the doorbell she seen them jump up and younger brother fixing his belt. She called my wife and called her mom to come get her. I had no idea this happened because my mom knew this was the second brother she did this with. While this was happening, I knew nothing and told my wife I think we need a break. She knew I didn't know. I ended up having with my boss's daughter. I know that was of me and I tried to tell my wife but she shut me down. I learned later why. I went to my aunt's house and my mom spent the night with me there. My wife was blowing up my phone at 2 a.m. She was drunk and just left the bar. She was freaking out and crying. My mom woke up and said, "Does she want?" I was shocked my mom said that. Then my mom said, "I'll take her home." Shocked again. I said, "No, I'll do it." My mom screamed and said, "I seen her Derek, my other brother." Who's next on her list? My husband, which is my dad. My mother yelled. I took her to her mom's. I asked, "Did you my brother?" She said no. She got out of the car and said she was going to kill herself because of the rumor. She was going to kill herself because we were not together. She was drunk and laid on the ground screaming she wanted to die. I took her to her mom's, where my daughter was because it was her night, and laid in the bed with her till she fell asleep to make sure she didn't do anything stupid. I waited for her to fall asleep and I cried. A few years later, I get an FB video chat request from her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend. She told me my wife was that she broke up their family when she went back to her hometown to visit her other family. I gave her my car and she sent my mail of my wife calling her BF saying her tire was flat. My tire pressure light stayed on and I knew this was true. She then forwarded me pics of my wife naked. I received the same pics from my wife. I asked my wife if she said no. I told her for some reason I am no longer fazed by this kind of and she started to cry. She cheated on this dude with his best friend. Since then my wife is now great. She is an amazing mom. She went to counseling. I hate that she accuses me of cheating constantly. She makes the bed every morning. That is what amazing people do. I don't go through her phone. I don't accuse her of being unfaithful. I asked each time I found something out, "Did you cheat?" She would say no. I didn't investigate further because I didn't want to know. I remember praying, "Lord, let me be lied to." I didn't want to deal because I didn't want to react. For if I react, I knew other lives were going to be affected, my children, my parents, my siblings, and even my wife. I protected them even though I didn't cause this. Here is the problem: it's been 4 years. I still bottle it up because I never handled it. I know I should have left. I think I have thrown it in her face at least 3 times. One time saying, "You shattered me, seen me broken, and I had to put me together because of you lied, and this is who I am now." Tough as. We tried marriage counseling and I found myself getting defensive for her and having her back. She went to individual counseling and it helped her. Back when it happened and I tried to talk about it, I seen her freak out and thought, oh God, the guilt will cause her to hurt herself, so I quickly shut up and shut down. I am not as affectionate. I am not reassuring. Because of this, maybe I never forgave her? Sometimes I think, hold her hand. Then I remember, don't put your walls down or you will get hurt. Now that all that has expired, it's wrong for me to try to sort it out. My advice is, don't hold it in. That's not being a hero. That's enabling and will cause you to self-destruct. Update: apparently, most got too caught up in the details of the BS that I went through and missed where I needed help. So here is a new post. My wife cheated on me constantly the first 4 out of 8 years that we have been together. The last 4, especially the last year, she has been great. The cheating weren't long strung out affairs. There were 4, that I know of, short-lived cheating. I stayed because she said she didn't do it. I didn't dig further because if I did, my wife was a cheater and a liar. I stayed because I loved her and we had kids. A lot of times people wonder, should they stay or go? The answer is go. I made the worst mistake by staying because my mind thinks about and rages with anger that I keep silent. I'm good at hiding my feelings. Did she pay for her mistakes? Yes, but not from me. They were from herself. She still suffers. She wonders every day if I am going to cheat on her or leave her. She freaks out over her thoughts all the time. She's so insecure that it annoys the out of me. She has isolated herself. I never supported this. Why did she do it? Not sure. I never asked because I couldn't stomach to hear it. I couldn't watch her cry to say it. At first I thought, what is wrong with me? The people she cheated on me with was far less funny, happy, attractive, and successful than me. I am great in bed and do everything I can to please. Not to be too detailed, but she has been with 30 people before me. We met in high school, and I made her squirt. She thought she all over herself and was embarrassed. I could tell that she has never done that before. I have no doubts and refuse to think that there is something wrong with me. Where is she today? I stayed, and today she has completely changed. She is a great mother. She truly cares for me. She is a good wife. The negative is the insecurities. She fears me leaving or cheating. Her life revolves around me. Our children don't know nor suspect anything. She is a stay-at-home mom. We had a child during the cheating. It didn't stop her. I win most of her arguments, and I hate that she gives in at times. During big arguments, she will bring up dumb things like a previous short-lived Adderall addiction I had or how I act flirty with girls at work, and I'll say cheat and my face turns red and she shuts the conversation down. Where am I today? I know I still love her. But I live with too much pain and anger that is bottled up so bad that I promise you people will be shocked if they knew how I felt. Again, I am good at hiding my feelings. I have walls up and I know she knows that. I had opportunities all the time to cheat or leave and I always pass them up. Problem: I either trust her or I don't give it anymore. I can't tell the difference. I don't check her phone. Yet I'm still angry. Still hurt. I know it's because I stayed quiet. It's been 4 years. YTF can't I just let it go? Not all the time, but a lot times there is a silent war in my head. I hate me for staying. I hate me for staying quiet. It has gotten a lot better since it happened. But it's still there. It is really unfair for me to hold this against her because I chose to stay. I know I need to talk to a professional, but that is a lot of work because I will have to hide it and will her anxiety. If I tell her, she will know it's about her. Do I just leave without letting her know why? Just let her assume? This way she won't have to relive her doings and causing her to fall into a deep depression. Am I supposed to try and talk about it with her? Again, it's been 4 years. At some point expires. It's not fair to her to bring it up because I stayed. It also isn't fair to me because I had to live with lies and no answers. Also, why is it important to know details of cheating? Do you want to know if your wife sucked someone's? Did she get off? Did they use a condom? Did they kiss? Etc. These details sound so specific, and won't it ruin more things for you by knowing details? A lot of things say that husbands wanted details. Why? Thanks for reading.